Good morning and happy Friday morning to everybody. This video is going to be covering Travalyst. There's been some very interesting updates. You guys are not going to want to miss this. Let's jump in. Let's get there. Let's go. Just some background information for you to catch you up. Travalyst was established as a company in April of 2020. And in July, they had a virtual Travalyst summit. People were very confused by this company because there was no physical office, no phone number, and nobody really understood what it was for. In August of 2019, Harry and Meghan set up MWX Company, and that's the company that owns the trademark for Travalyst. They applied for a trademark in August of 2019, and on September 3rd, 2019, they launched in Amsterdam. In December of 2019, Catherine and William's Royal Foundation gave grants specifically to Travalyst that total £151,000. In April of 2020, finally, Travalyst was set up as a company with James Holt as one of the directors. And Harry is the main shareholder, owning 75% of the company. Now, Travalyst is not a registered charity, so they are not restricted in how they can use their funds. And let's not forget that when Harry was asked about his own usage of private jets, because they called him to the mat on it, his comment was, "Sometimes, in isolated circumstances, I have to use a jet for the safety of my family." Of course, we now know that that's crap. He uses private jets like Ubers. So Harry puts out, I'm not kidding, a 5-minute long video and a taped statement, and supposedly talks about New Zealand and how sustainable they are, etc., etc. The idea behind this is instead of you going to a resort and rating the resort, they get to rate you as a person. In other words, if you leave the water running in the sink, they take away 2 stars. But if you only use 1 towel, they give you 5 stars. I myself don't want to go on a vacation where I get rated. If I'm spending that kind of money, you're not going to rate me. It was a bad idea, I think. People did make comments about his acting skills, that it was very cringeworthy. It's supposed to be taking place in New Zealand. None of the trees are in New Zealand. You know, they're not New Zealand trees. They are California. This was done in his backyard. Well, then we heard that he was going to be giving an interview. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Listen to what this woman said.
A really strange, bizarre thing happened to us last week. Out of the blue, we were contacted by representatives of, wait for it, Prince Harry, for an interview. No strings attached. I thought it was a scammer, truly, but no, it all checked out. Long story short, Prince Harry is part of a new eco-travel movement called Travalyst. Because it's inspired by values, kaitiakitanga, manaakitanga, Prince Harry wanted the worldwide launch to happen out of Aotearoa and on this program. Well, after a lot of to-ing and fro-ing, the interview didn't happen. It will, apparently, his people say, but just not now. He sent us this.
So guess what? He never got the interview. They never interviewed him. He offered them a tell-all, no-holds-barred interview, and then he yanked it back from them and gave them something that was taped. No, it wasn't long after that we found out that the Maori people, and they make up 17% of the population, have demanded to be divorced from the crown and removal of the Queen as New Zealand's head of state. How many people think that that's just a coincidence? Because I don't. I think Harry chose them deliberately. So now people there, the Maori people, are very, very upset at that point with Harry because they feel like he appropriated their culture to push his own agenda, which of course we know he did. It became obvious at that time that he was trying to get you to look at the Maori lifestyle, which is a low impact on the environment lifestyle, and his travel initiative, and, put them together. So if anybody tried to draw a parallel between its products and the Maori culture, they'd be attacked for what they call greenwashing. It is obnoxious, the article says, to imply that tourists flying halfway around the world to visit New Zealand can have a carbon footprint which remotely compares with that of its indigenous people. They're saying that there's absolutely nothing novel about his rating service. There's plenty of places you can go to find out environmental impact of an airline journey if you choose to, and all of them point to the same thing, that anybody who regularly flies would be best advised to keep quiet and stop lecturing the rest of us on our greenhouse gas emissions. It looks from documentation like Travalyst applied and got grants for COVID-19 from the United States and the UK. And should they have claimed that money when they don't even have an actual office? We don't even know if they have any real employees. And FYI, since Harry basically owns that company, nobody could apply for those grants without his approval. You all should know that a Freedom of Information request was made to the Charity Commission for MWX and for Travalyst. The majority of the questions that were asked were not answered, and the Charity Commission said they aren't going to answer those questions because they're afraid it could damage the entities involved. In other words, that no one wishes to be publicly associated with the Sussexes for fear it could harm their entity, their reputation, and will deter other donors. Now, the reason I brought all of this up is because Harry suddenly put out a video where he was demanding action to save the, quote, beating heart of the travel industry, all while demanding action from tourists to look after the environment that they were visiting. He put out a video and he said, and I'm quoting, "Travel and tourism relies on destinations held together by communities without which we would have nowhere to travel to. Communities are the beating heart of travel, and we must do better by the people who are the custodians of the places we visit." He said it's what keeps us connected with the world and reminds us we're part of the whole. Then the word salad started. As we spend time together, let's make sure that the tourism industry has a license to operate. Not one entity can own sustainability, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time he was giving this speech, his eyes were going back and forth as he was reading the lines off of the paper. It was literally a joke. Now, this is all coming out, besides the speech that he just gave, because pressure is increasing on Joe Biden's government to release Harry's visa records. And he just filed, or his attorneys or whoever filed, for Harry to record that his new country state is the United States instead of the UK. And this was filed, as you can see, for Travalyst. So it's official. He's out of the UK. What do you guys think of that? He's now claiming that the United States is his home. The UK has been removed from the documents. I wonder if he was advised to do that. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button and follow me over to video number 2. Let's go.